This is your host, Pete Moore, and I am pleased and humbled to announce the launch of my one and only book, Time to Win Again. 52 takeaways from playing and watching team sports to ensure your business success. Those of you who know me personally, and anyone who listens to Halo Talks for any length of time, know that I am an avid sports fan and a big believer in the value of team sports. What I've seen over the past 25 years helping businesses grow, raising capital, being an entrepreneur myself, and coaching and mentoring executives in the sector, it's the lessons learned on the field perfectly apply to business. Entrepreneurs, executives, managers, you name it. Every company that's a strong company has got a good team. It's a quick read. There's awesome illustrations in there from our good friend Mark at Cruelty Free Cartoons. If you go to integritysq.com, enter your email address, and we will send you information on the book and the Entrepreneur's Survival Kit as well. Be great. Take names. Go Halo. This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks, NYC, on location, Dallas, Texas, finally in person, my second meeting. We decided to tape it. I'm here with Doug Katona, CEO of American Barbell, Southern California boy like myself now. And he's going to tell us about his progression into the Halo sector and some of the awesome things you guys are doing at American Barbell. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's kind of nice to be in Dallas with another SoCal guy.
You got it, man. We travel together now, man. We're like Southwest bandits.
So you're liking it, though. You're liking SoCal.
I love
You were in New York.
The lifestyle.
I got to tell.
Sunshine. I don't check what the weather is, and I don't have to wear like a windbreaker or jackets or anything.
Well, when we met in Manhattan it was late in the day, so we decided not to have a coffee, and you ordered chamomile tea.
Yeah, because I was gearing up for my podcast. I needed to get my cords ready for this.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I like this guy already.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know why I did
cool.
that. Don't put me in like the chamomile. I don't want to be like the chamomile guy for you. You know what I mean? Like I want to be like the 3 cups of coffee. Hard charging.
You are.
Okay, fine.
You are, but you're showing that balance, in your life. Any man that's not afraid to order chamomile at 2 p.m. is cool. Right?
I feel like balance is like more like exposure. I'm like exposing, who I am deep down inside. I am very sensitive, actually, so just be careful with me. Very gentle. You have to, I had some issues, but we're working through them. So let's get back to what we were talking about, which was nothing yet. So your background in the industry is ... Mad Libs.
So,
remember that game? That was awesome.
I was just talking to the guy who really gave me my start, Robert Burns at Shape Up Fitness Center. Yep. Just ran into him minutes ago, just before this podcast. Mm-hmm. And guy's 67, looks amazing. And we first started, I came out of USC not really knowing what I wanted to do, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember graduating and driving home and thinking, God, what do I want to do? I've been an athlete all my life, right? And I've always done things kind of contrarian. I've always been a little bit against the grain. When I was at USC, I studied exercise science and movement and mechanics. And because I was an athlete, I always had, kind of an innate understanding of it. So I had no money. I graduated, came home to Mission Viejo and told my parents, I don't know what I want to do. I think, can I just crash on the couch for 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. And while I was doing that, I started, poking around and figuring out what was going on, and found Robert Burns, Shape Up Fitness Center in Costa Mesa, California, and we started personal training in Newport Beach. We were the first.
That's a good market to start personal training. I venture to guess.
Yeah, I thought we did. That was one of the few things we did in the beginning that was good. And then I remember playing, janitor, front desk guy, aerobic instructor, all that. But
doesn't that teach you everything though? When you start from that level and just be able to see things?
Yeah, man. It's being, I'm blessed every day. I show so much gratitude every day that I had that start, because it does give me the context, right?
Yeah.
And from there, long story short is I always say fitness chose me. I didn't choose it. Because I kind of just gravitated into being, a coach, a leader, inspiring people, building teams. And we had a couple of gyms in SoCal, and I wanted to continually be challenged, and went to work for CrossFit HQ, teaching running mechanics.
Okay.
I was also working for Lee Steinberg and Warren Moon. So the original Jerry Maguire. Remember Jerry Maguire?
Of course.
Yeah. So that's who I worked for a while as an athletic training consultant, and did really well with that. Started lecturing a lot, all the idea conferences, authoring, presenting, and just developed kind of a little bit of a reputation for teaching Olympic lifting and mechanics. And at the same time, I was an athlete still. I was competing as a Category 2 cyclist.
Oh, wow.
But I was riding half the amount of miles everybody else was, and I would train in the afternoon, right? Strength training, deadlifting, squatting, pressing. And everybody's like, you can't do that as a cyclist, right? It's helping me recover. It's making me stronger. And I had a great career for 10 years, won 2 state championships. So that got me thinking, right? It got me thinking about there's more out there to talk about in the fitness industry. So long story short is CEO for World Gym International after that, developed something called World Gym Athletics that was very successful. And it had always admired what Phil Patty had done at American Barbell. And he and I just started talking. And when COVID hit, I thought it was the right time to pivot, become a partner in the company. And, we're stoked on what's happening. But honestly, now, I kind of want to give back and leave some legacy in the industry. I think the industry is ready for some leadership.
Yep, agreed.
So
let's talk about American Barbell, because the thing that I find really intriguing is because I started back at Gold's Gym, and I've seen kind of the progression of like studio concepts, and everything's kind of come back around to, hey, I want a barbell. I want to do Olympic squats. I think it's like the most self-feed thing in the gym is when people do an Olympic squats. And, you talk to anybody and they're like, look, you could walk, you could run on a treadmill, but like, if you want to, change your body, you gotta lift. Like, there's really no way around it.
Again, little contrarian, but I've always said, the only way to get strong is to train hard, move fast. You got to lift load. You got to move load. You got to move quick, right? I think one of the biggest problems that the industry faces is not addressing or acknowledging or not being bold enough to say that intensity and lifting heavy weight fast works. And I think that's a really important point to drive home. And the barbell, I mean, I love the fact when I had a dinner with Les Weehee the other night, one of the original Stairmaster guys. We were talking about the old equipment, the cross aerobics machine. Some of you that are listening may remember that, and probably you're laughing right now and scratching your head. How does he remember that one? But the barbell probably is the most functional piece of equipment you could own. And I'm not saying that because it's American Barbell. I'm saying you can squat, press, deadlift. There are so many, and you're working the major muscle groups that you should be working, and it's scalable. You can add load to it. So if you're going in the gym lifting the same amount of weight the same way all the time, you're putting off the inevitable. You're not going to be able to continue to progress, right? So that's why, in my opinion, my experienced opinion is, the barbell is the most functional piece. And if you're going to have one, you might as well, get a nice one.
Yeah. So on that point, there's a lot of products that you would deem in the world, that's a commodity, right? And you'd say, okay, the simplicity of the barbell is effectively, when you view it, you say, okay, that's, I can get that into several different places. As an analogy, there was, yoga mats. Yeah, you can get those anywhere. But then there was a guy who started up this company, called Manduka, who's a friend of mine. And that became like the Maserati of like the yoga mat industry. So as you think about American Barbell and buying the best one, how do you articulate that price to value proposition? And, how do you kind of zone in on the results that you would get from that?
It's a tool.
Or a weapon.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's also a dangerous piece of equipment like anything else. But look, if you're going to buy something that, and again, I say that we're a Ferrari at a BMW price. We're not entry level. We're not going to build a cheap barbell. Keep in mind, we're one of the few that actually make our own stuff. So our barbells are assembled by hand in Las Vegas. So not too many people can say that. And they're assembled by hand. In fact, when you get a barbell that's built by us, whoever builds that barbell, they put a little tag on the barbell, built by.
Oh, sweet.
Built by Mikey Alvarado, who's our bar manager.
Shout out to Mikey.
Yeah. I mean, Mikey's amazing. So we take great pride in that, right? The materials are the finest, U.S. steel, some of the finest materials. We harvest that stuff from specific. Our founder, Phil Patty, is magical at that.
Do you feel obviously there was this 30-year trend to like outsource everything, right? Like, or companies are saying like my earnings per share, here's like my cost of goods sold, my gross margin, everyone's focused on that. And then they realize, fuck, dude, I got to get this into a port. I got to get it into a distribution center. I don't know who built this thing. I have no idea what they put in it. And that kind of came home to roost over the last 18 months, whether it's the PPE or whether it's just the jammed up supply chains right now. So we're going to make more things in America. We're going to build more things in America. Are people willing to pay for more things in America?
Not always. It depends. I think it depends on the product. Now, keep in mind, we do make some things in China. The difference is we own our own factory in China. They were trained by us. The material.
Has Mikey been there?
No, I
we got to send him out there.
I got to take Mikey.
Mikey,
he'd really enjoy it.
One-way ticket to Shenzhen.
He would really enjoy that. So, we're unique in the fact that we do have our own factory, meaning we don't make for other people in our factory.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's a little bit different. And here's the thing. China does make some good product, okay? People that say, we got to bring everything back to America. It's got to be U.S. made. I'm like, what kind of car are you driving? Who made the clothes on your back?
Yeah, exactly.
How about that phone you got in your hand, right? So I think...
Are you questioning me? Oh, you're saying in general, not me.
Oh, you would never.
Yeah. Okay. China?
China.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my belief there. It's just that, again, you have to care about that. So yeah.
It's it's an interesting balancing act because you got all this narrative of like made in America, buy in America. And then it's like, okay, I can't really do that anymore. Like we're in a global economy. And also, we're talking about balance. You can't just like pull billions of dollars of production out of a country, regardless whether they're buzzing Taiwan right now with their, military arsenal. But, at some point you got to say, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense economically and also from a value standpoint.
Well, I think a lot of people are thinking that now because of the supply chain challenges, right? They're saying, a container that used to cost us $4,000 to land is now costing $16,000 to $18,000 to land, right? So you're kind of having to play a chess game with how you get stuff out of ports in Asia now. And so I think a lot of people are looking at that. But again, for us, we're going to maintain the integrity of our core competency, which is, our Series 1 dumbbell, over 1 million pairs made, no returns on it. We care very much about our flagship product. And then the other product that we choose to make in China is because it doesn't matter if we made it there or here. It's essentially the same product. It's just that we're saving the consumer some money.
I want to take a minute and tell our audience about 2 awesome workout recovery products I've been using for the last 18 months from higherdose.com, leader in infrared technology for athletes like all of us are. We're an investor in the company. That's not why I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this because it works. You got an infrared sauna blanket. I hop in there. I'll listen to some podcasts, burn 800 calories, get a mad detox. And a PEMF, which is a pulsed electromagnetic field crystal mat that I lay on and I recalibrate my cells to the normalized level of the earth. If you got somebody you like and you're looking for a pretty awesome gift, they will love it. You could use this code HALO75, get $75 off, and you will not be disappointed. Higherdose.com, promo code HALO75. And now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
So, take a look at American Barbell. When you got involved as the CEO, what's the breadth of products? And then did you kind of do any kind of analysis to say, look, here's like our 80-20 rule, or, here's where I want to take the product expansion? Or some people like an In-N-Out burger, they'll be like, hey, look, I sell burgers, I sell fries, I sell shakes, and I drinks. And like, I crush that. And I'm just going to continue to crush this.
We're going to continue to crush what we do well, which is barbells, dumbbells, bumper plates, because it's German urethane. We make UV. I mean, the bumpers are beautiful. Keep in mind, we're OEM for a lot of the biggest brands in fitness. Okay. We do a lot of military work, and that's how a lot of people kind of knew who we were. So when I came on board, it was more to pay homage to our founder, Phil, on what he had done over the industry. He started with, Life Fitness bought him, and he was sort of high tech and the GP Industries. But now this is a coming out party of the brand. Mm-hmm. And what we're doing is, and we brought on some really key players in the industry. We brought on Hillis Lake from Aleco. We brought on Clay Whitaker from Precor. Had dinner with those guys last night. And
thanks for the invite.
What we did.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know you were in town.
Yeah, I was busy.
No, we just had margaritas and nachos.
I
and
don't
stuff
do
like
that
that
anyway.
So I didn't think you did.
I only drink Chinese margaritas.
And chamomile.
And chamomile. With a touch of chamomile.
With a touch of chamomile. I think...
It's be my new nickname. Just call me Camo.
Next time I see you, I'm gonna. That's your stocking stuffer. I'm gonna get you a little bit of chamomile. I think the industry is what we're also trying to do is move the industry forward on. We're introducing a training and education component, stuff I've been doing for a long time that we're now drawing under the banner of American Barbell. In fact, I'll announce it here. Ready? You ready?
Go ahead.
You sitting down?
Breaking news: Wolf Blitzer, PD Mo, Camo.
Katona. We are launching our own training education component with a twist that I'll explain. It's called Natural NTRL. And we already have accredited courses on coaching and leadership development, which I think is needed in our industry. But it's kind of a 4-quadrant approach of nutrition, training, recovery, and life. So we feel that the 4-quadrant approach to fitness is really important. If one of those things are out of balance, the other 3. In other words, you could train really, really well, but if you eat like crap, you don't sleep, and you have bad relationships, those other things are going to suffer. So that's kind of our big...
So you're doing that underneath American Barbell?
Yes. As of yesterday, it's now trademarked.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I love acronyms, so I love this one too. When you think about doing this with the NTRL, this is kind of like you and your education, and you're constantly, telling people, look, this is how you can run a better business, you kind of run your life better. How do you think about doing that under American Barbell? And how does that intersect? Or do you say, hey, look, if I get people smarter and I get people healthier, they're never going to buy more products?
It's both.
Is it the long game?
That's the long game.
Yeah.
This is the legacy long game, both for Phil, myself, Hillis, Clay. We want to help the industry. I'm a participant in Rex Roundtables, and I got to tell you, the guys that I'm with feel the same way. Last time I checked, there's still only 20% of the population that has a gym membership. That hasn't crazy. The needle hasn't moved much, even with virtual and technology and everything else. I think there's a totality approach to it. I think it's how you eat, not working out, training, 2 different things. Recovery/sleep. Yeah. And then life. How are you treating human beings? How are your relationships? All those things affect what you do, right? And I think putting those things in, and we've been doing this for a while. It's just now we've formalized it in with American Barbell, because we have. Before I was on the World Gym side, it was great, fantastic people, great franchise network, but I could only influence so many people.
Sure.
Well, now we've got both sides of it, and a lot more people to reach, right? We're doing some work for the military on the coaching and leadership side now to help them communicate how to get that content down to their coaches and the people that are walking into their gyms.
Well,
right?
As a separate side conversation, if we can do anything in 2022 with you on Halo Academy, or have some kind of offshoot of this as either an add-on as a separate course, we're the whole thing with Halo Academy, which sounds like the same thing with NTRL, is not just to have like, okay, I got a 2-week, do some networking, and I've learned a couple of, tidbits about, the business models of some of my competitors, but it's really, the smarter you are and the more curious you are, the better you're going to be in your profession and in your life. And then everything kind of just takes off from there.
Well, haven't you learned that by doing Halo?
Yeah. I mean, it's been awesome.
Was that part of the inspiration for you when you kind of put that together? Was that a...
Yeah. I mean, a couple of different things. One is I didn't like the word wellness. And I still don't. And even though there's this huge wellness movement, it's like the opposite of illness. And I'm going to talk to Dr. Cooper about this. But
agree.
Like the name, it's the wrong name.
Agree.
Right. So I did this because I want to change the narrative, and I want to expand what we're doing here. So it shouldn't just be bricks and mortar and products. Just like there should be connected fitness people here. There should be largest apparel companies should be here. Right. Supplements, food, better for you. Oat milk, all this. I mean, everybody's living a Halo lifestyle. So let's get everyone who wants to be a part of that, your L in the NTRL, that supports that. And then we got a much bigger group of participants.
I applaud you on that, because I think it's needed. I think more people need inspiration to make better choices, to become better people.
Yeah.
And it's like taking care of yourself, but not yourself, one word, yourself, right? And so that's part of our approach on the lifestyle side. And then, again, I think, studies show that when people say working out, it has immediately a negative connotation. Cortisol levels go up. It's a proven study, right? So we talk about...
Yeah, because work, right? Why do you put work in
We
it?
talk about
Working out.
training because it's
I
more
like
of a
that.
long-term approach. And we look at it on a weekly basis because life changes. So our programming reflects that, for example. And again, I'm not going to be shy about the fact, look, man, you got to train hard, move fast, lift heavy. Sorry. Otherwise, life's going to get you, right?
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people live in this 20 or 25 year window of their life, and that's where they're vitally functional, they have the energy. But what about the other back end 30, right? What happens when you're past 45 years old? Then what? I surf. I still surf as often as possible. I can still squat with my butt down to the ground. I don't have injuries. I feel really, really good. So I think I've kind of all that experience that I've had training and coaching people in the industry, that's what I'm trying to bring with natural now. So, yeah.
Well, great. I'm looking forward to it. And thanks for breaking it on the podcast. We appreciate that, because now we're going to get a lot more hits.
Wanted to save it for you,
a lot
man.
more eyeballs, a lot more downloads, and we'll just benefit from it, over a chamomile tea.
No, hey, honestly, when you
celebrate our wins together, buddy.
When we met that day, I'm like, and I think we talked about it briefly, and I had this in the works for a while. And I thought, I'm going to wait. I'm going to share it with Pete and just kind of share it with everybody. But yeah, everybody's going to see a lot more of it. It'll have its own site. It'll be on American Barbell. And again, it's, we're going to charge really hard at it.
Awesome. So shifting gears, coming into a company, an established business, obviously you're going to run a business the way you want to run a company. When you get into a company, and take this as an example, like what are like the top 3 things you look at, and what are the top 3 things you've changed, if at all, at American Barbell? Obviously, the NTRL is, obviously one of the 3. So you have 2 left.
People before profits. I think building a stronger culture, which takes work. I don't think a lot of executives understand how much work that takes because you have to invest in the people. You have to listen a lot, ask them questions. What do they want? What are their dreams? What are their hopes? And try to make that happen for them, right? Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things I did in the beginning was start to shift the culture a little bit internally, right? Because we're a hard-charging company. We wear a lot of different hats. It's 24/7. It's not 9 to 5. It's 5 to 9, right?
Yeah.
And I love it. I still haven't woken up.
It's like a hobby, though, right? It's like,
honestly, with the industry,
I
have a great secret. I feel like in the last 30 years I've been in the business, I still haven't woken up one day not wanting to go to work. I still, honestly, and that's, spiritually I feel that way. But culture was probably the biggest shift. It's spending time with people. And then again, my pledge is people before profits, and then usually profits follow.
Yeah.
Right. And then the last is blocking and tackling to make sure that everything's cleaned up the way it should be, and having vision, strategy. When I came into the company, we didn't have a mission statement. We didn't have any core company values. And I put a committee together. It took us 4 months to put together core company values, and we talk about that. We have I hold a leadership meeting every Thursday at 9:30. We do not talk about business. It's my key people, and we talk about, give me one update on personal, one thing that happened with you in business this week that caught you something. What are your challenges? And we just share with each other. And that's probably done more for the productivity and profits of the company than almost anything else.
Awesome. So in closing here, give us a business quote that you love, or something that you've keep on your wall, or anything that it's kind of like your guiding light.
So being a former baseball player and athlete my entire life, there was a great a bow-legged coach from Cal Poly Pomona. And my first year before I went to USC, I played baseball at Chapman College. And I had heard about John Scalinas for a long time. Walk out in the field, taking ground balls. Just he's a bow-legged guy, and his hat was kind of on crooked, and gray hair sticking out. Probably a lot of hair sticking out of his ears too. And he was talking to his players, and they had been on a winning streak. And I overheard him yelling in the dugout. He said, "If what you did yesterday still looks big today, you haven't done much today." And that's always resonated with me. So it doesn't matter how successful you are, stay humble every day, man.
Yeah.
Try to make a difference, and then make truthful truthful, appropriate, honest decisions and be authentic with people. The way you are at work or the way you and I are right now is how I am when I go home to kiss my wife and my kids, man. So, and it's the reason, and I'll do one more quick shout out to Eddie Talk, because I think what he's done with Rex, I've sensed that.
I agree. Shout out to Eddie. He's done great.
It's just cool stuff. It's just such, and I think, being here, everybody's reconnected. And again, I think, for me now, it's hard charging to get the right people together in the industry to start to move the needle forward. And man, let's inspire some people. Let's forget about all the other stuff that we got to face with technology and supply chain. Let's focus on getting people inspired. I think we got to think big, and we need more people in the room that think like you do, and it's going to happen. So great to have you on, and look forward to seeing you in California. I'll see you soon.
All right, buddy.
Cool.
Awesome.